Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Foocast. My name is Finn and today I am joined once again by Robert.
Greetings, one and all.
Robert, how are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Very good.
Yeah, I'm not too bad as well actually, to be fair. I've had a pretty chill day. I've been enjoying not having to watch Bad Batch, to be honest with you. I'm happy that it's no longer a Friday. I used to look forward to Fridays, but now it's just sort of, I just...
You kind of have to get it out of the way.
Yeah, well, now I sort of imagine that there's 6 days a week. It just goes straight from Thursday or straight to Saturday. Because I just try and just get Friday out of my mind.
Fridays are no longer canon.
Yeah, it's now the company that owns Friday the 13th. It's just the 13th now.
It's just the 13th.
The
13th of what? We don't fucking know.
Well, the 13th does sound like a name of a horror movie that would be a thing, wouldn't it? Like a Netflix original.
Yeah,
the 13th.
13th killer.
It would be, or
the 13th victim or something.
Yeah, it would be like some sort of the 13th demon and it escapes or something, and then they do the 14, and then the 15, and then they do a really bad reboot of the 13 because the 16 gets cancelled or something.
Yeah, it'll go from being the 13th, and then the reboot will just be 13.
Oh no, the 13, it actually, that's the Bad Batch. There's actually, I don't know. I don't know, I ran out of ideas halfway through that sentence.
Where were you going with
I
that?
don't know,
I'm so confused. I was like, what?
I ran out of ideas halfway. I tried to make... I tried to make...
I said 13 episodes.
Wait, what? How many episodes have we got? Are we on 13 episodes? I think we are, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are on 13 episodes. That's why it's called the 13. Yeah, I think so. I know, this one was the 13th, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was 12 and 13 that we're covering today.
I need to check now.
You need to double check if I'm right. That's what the plot of this Netflix...
This Netflix original that gets cancelled after one season.
So yeah, if you guys... if you ignore that cold open, we're talking about Bad Batch today, the latest 2 episodes, and if any of you catch...
Yes, it was 2 episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wait, was I right? Was it actually the 13th episode?
Hang on, I need to find it. Where the fuck is it? Oh no, that's bad. I accidentally typed Bab instead of Bad. It is... Okay, let's see. The last episode was the 13th.
I knew it! I freaking knew it! There we go. Right, when Netflix are listening into this conversation, let's write that down. Got a horror movie idea.
Write that down. Write that down.
If you
Make
watch,
people love it and then cancel it after one season.
If you watch the 13th episode of The Bad Batch and say Hunter 5 times, you'll die or something like that. Your chip will activate.
Like watching Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I'll fucking die.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Alright, I know we're talking about the last Terror episode first, which is 12, but as I was watching 13, right, I genuinely, because I didn't have the energy to just turn on my Xbox and put it on the TV and watch it, right? Not because I was really tired, I was at that point, but because I just don't have the energy or just the sheer willpower to even watch this show anymore, because...
Yeah. The force has dwindled within us as the show's gone on. It's drained us.
I'm actually being serious, right? I turned on the episode, right? I saw Sid in the thumbnail, I was like, Jesus Christ, fine, I'll watch it. I watch it because of the cast. I'm doing it for the cast, So, halfway through this episode, I kid you not, I paused it, turned over my back and put my hands over my face and just went, oh, this is so boring! I genuinely said that out loud. I probably woke up a few people in my house because it's just so... I can't with this show any, Robert, listen, okay? The premise... I'm
here for you.
Thank you. The premise of the show, right? It had the opportunity and just... It would have been one of the most interesting stories in all of Star Wars, right? Because you got this time period...
one of the greatest shows in all of Star Wars, to be honest.
It's just the concept...
the premise was so fucking good, and it had characters that people loved, made by a creator that people love, and then somehow produced shit.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's just the fact that this is such an essential part of the the void of Star Wars that hasn't been told yet. Like this is like
Yeah.
a big shift change in the galaxy. There's so many different
For such,
stories and stuff that you can
Yeah.
tell, and it's just the fact that they've just
For
given
such an important moment in Star Wars history.
yeah
Probably one of the most important moments in all Star Wars history.
yeah.
Somehow the show fucked it up.
It's such a waste of an opportunity, and there's no thing where they can go back and make it like good. You know how
Yeah.
it's like the Clone Wars made Revenge of the Sith better in my opinion, but there's no way that you can make the concept of
Like-
just the clones being replaced. That's such an
Yeah.
interesting storyline. It explores a bunch of
And they've still done nothing with it.
yeah, it's like you can explore so
Like-
much conflict there between clones and just the whole. You put your life into one thing and then you just get replaced, and then you know what I mean? It's
Thing is,
just
I know people say stuff like, "Oh, Clone Wars Season 1 wasn't that good," but I feel like it's not a good comparison to make,
yeah.
considering that was the first time they were trying out this animation
Yeah.
with that type of storytelling.
Should I?
And even though
Yeah.
Season 1 wasn't that great, it was still good.
Yeah.
The characters were still interesting, and the plots were still interesting.
Yeah.
With this, I get what they're going with. It's like the slow burn storytelling,
Yeah.
which I actually like, as long as it's paced well.
As long as
This
it's
isn't.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. This is a slow burn of disappointment.
Yeah. Can I expand upon that point even better, which will make your argument so much more amazing? Is because
Okay.
the fact that you've got season 1 and then some of season 2 of Clone Wars, right? Those were very much like just little adventures you can do whatever you want with. The reason why that's fine is because that was the first sort of Star Wars series where they were just finding their footing.
Yeah.
And
They had nothing to compare it to.
yeah,
No one really knew what if Dave Filoni would do anything good with it.
yeah,
But he did.
Mm.
It was also an anthology series following multiple characters.
yeah,
And people knew that. So
Yeah.
people weren't just expecting it to be about a specific set of characters each week.
yeah,
And it had story arcs to tell.
yeah, and another
This is
thing.
just-
So you go. Sorry, I butt in.
I was going to say, this is just like, it's like, this is a creator that I found his footing a long time ago, but for some reason isn't doing it anymore. And I get like, it might be like, oh, he's trying to like try something new with it, which I always like, but I feel like the best way to try something new is to use the same but improve upon it.
Yeah,
Or if
yeah,
you're finding out that this just isn't working for you, go back to the old ways
yeah,
that people love,
and it's
but
like
still tell an interesting story.
yeah, and it's like they made these little arcs and stuff which people enjoyed. I mean, it's the fact that they've got the chance to they made something at the start in the early seasons, and then once you see what audiences respond to in the later season of the Clone Wars, people are like, oh, they really like this kind of storytelling, which is why people were kind of like, oh, why are they going to that sort of thing in Rebels? But then they did some really amazing stuff in the later arcs, and it's also just like, okay, so we've made some things and we're clear to see what audiences respond to, what people like, right? But then they could have used this Bad Batch opportunity to be, okay, now we've got the really good, we know what the fans want, we've got the animation that the fans really like, but then they haven't improved from their mistakes.
It's kind of like they found the mistakes from Rebels and Clone Wars and just made it into one.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't take the strongest points of those shows, they took the weakest points and made that a show.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, for me, it's very disappointing that then there's no overarching story, as it seems, and that's why it's so painful to watch.
It's like, there is an overarching story, I just don't know what the fuck it is. Like, is it Crosshair's hunting the Bad Batch? Is it the Clone Rebellion? Is it whatever the fuck's going on with Omega's DNA? Like, what is it? Is it all of it?
Yeah.
But if so, why is none of it focused on?
Yeah, there's not one main focus point of the show, really. It's like, does it want to be the Empire? Does it want to just be... Because at the moment, it's just one giant mess, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be an adventure show? Does it want to be involved in the Empire? Does it want to involve...
Yeah, thing is, I feel like an adventure show where the characters go from doing something week to week doesn't work with a character like Omega on it.
Yeah.
Because Omega essentially is a walking plot device. Like, she's the MacGuffin that all the characters want.
Yeah.
Like the bounty hunters want her, the Kaminoans want her. She is the MacGuffin.
Mm.
And because of that, it doesn't work to have this just be an adventure from week to week.
Yeah.
Because she the plot, essentially. She brings it with her.
Yeah.
That's probably why I think it doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that to me, I'm getting kind of bored of Omega because it's sort of they're not doing anything with them anymore. It's like they do something with Omega in one episode, and then they won't do anything interesting.
That same thing.
No, but it's like they wouldn't do anything interesting with her until like 5 episodes later or 4 episodes later.
Yeah.
So it's like
I think with Omega is that I liked her character, but she hasn't really developed much. Like, she's become braver. But apart from that, she really hasn't done much.
Yeah, plus another
She's kind
thing,
of moral compass now.
It's like we don't need a character like this at this time period of Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel like that is who the Bad Batch are anyway.
Yeah, and
like something that I've gotten really annoyed with in the last couple of episodes is the Bad Batch being reluctant or just outright refusing to help people. And then Omega being like, "But Hunter, we've got to do it." And then Hunter be like, "Oh, okay, alright, let's go do it."
Yeah,
it happened too many times.
It feels like because every single episode, it's always the Bad Batch just like, "Oh, we're not gonna do that," and then Omega just goes, "But it's the right thing to do," so they just end up doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What's the point?
Same.
What? Like, it's weird as well because I don't know why the Bad Batch are acting that way. They've shown willingness to help people before.
Yeah.
But for some reason they don't do it now just because they don't want to.
Well, the thing is...
It doesn't make sense to me.
The thing is, to me, is that I can't really empathise much with the Bad Batch because, one, they could have used this opportunity... Yeah, they haven't developed pretty much any of the core members. They've not really done anything with them. And the thing is, each episode, I don't know what they want. I don't know if they want to help people. I don't know if they want to lay low. I don't know what our characters want, and that's such a bad thing.
It's really confusing.
I don't know what they want. I have no idea what the Bad Batch are gonna do.
Yeah,
They don't have a motive.
I thought it was they want to lay low from the Empire. Then it became the bounty hunters now, and it became a thing about now protecting our home.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, what do they want?
Yeah, it's I don't enjoy watching the show because none of their characters have motivations that make sense, motivations at all, and the fact that how am I supposed to care or be interested by characters when each week, episode after episode after episode, they do absolutely nothing with them.
Yeah, none of the characters change. Like Hunter, not even Hunter changes, and I feel like he's focused on a lot more.
Yeah, it's like. It's just so disappointing, and it's like I feel like a lot of these like filler episodes, despite them not really having an overarching plot, they could still be enjoyable. It could still be like, oh, this is a really fun episode, but where's the Empire? But it's the fact that they're mediocre at the very best, and they're told in very, you know what I mean? It's
simplistic,
like
uninteresting ways.
It's like, for example, I think we should get into the Hera stuff straight away, right? It's like...
Okay.
Well, that whole Hera episode, what I mean. It's like, I'll give you an example, right? Captain Hauser could have been, like, interesting, right? But the fact that...
They didn't explore him at all.
Yeah, I've seen loads of people in the fandom being like, oh my god, I absolutely love Captain Hauser, but it's just like, why is he...
All he's done is be different.
Yeah, but it's not explained why he's not affected by Order 66. I like the little arc they gave him, but the fact that it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, but dude, it's in the canon comic books, so it does make sense. You're just not paying attention. Oh.
Yeah, but not everyone's gonna know that.
Exactly.
You know.
I get that argument.
It's
such a dumb argument.
Yeah, it's like I love the Marvel movies, but sometimes the Russos would be like, oh, if you wonder where Valkyrie and Korg went, they actually escaped on a shuttle, and they answered that on Twitter. Like... Yeah,
like, answer it in the movie.
I know.
Tell me that in the movie.
I know, another thing, right? It's that, there could have been some... I know I always bring up, what if this happened? But it's just, I feel like that, like, these little ideas that we have, they would make the story better.
That's the most interesting part about watching Bad Batch, is us talking about what if this happened instead.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what Marvel's What If covers next month. What if they actually did some interesting shit with the Bad Batch?
Oh my god. Dude, that's a Nexus event. That's like a fucking Nexus event that TVA is going to call proving it.
No, Marvel's What If is actually a remake of Bad Batch Season 1.
Oh my god.
It's just basically the same show, but they do the exact same stuff. But they just make it better. And we're actually the developers on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, people watch that show. People need to watch that show. But yeah, it's just it's stuff like they could be doing interesting stuff with the clones, but they don't really do much. And Hauser is just like, who will stand with me? And then all the clones
All the other clones are like, alright, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's just...
It's not inspiring, it's not cool, it's not really important, it's just, huh? What?
Yeah.
I'm left confused.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm not really intimidated by clone troopers anymore because, like, it doesn't... Well, they're just... If they're just like, oh, don't follow these orders.
Should have been one of the darkest periods in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's one of the
100%. Yeah.
Because, like, the ending of Revenge of the Sith, the clones are these fucking murder machines now. You know? They don't give a shit. So why all of a sudden are they just like, oh, let's give up our weapons to the Empire?
It doesn't make sense. I mean, you could have the thing where it's just like, oh, maybe they didn't get affected by Order 6, but why? You know?
Yeah, I think, even if that is the case, why hasn't that been implied?
Yeah. Let me give you... Yeah.
It's like they paid a setup that never happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They thought the only good setup they needed was how they're being different.
Yeah.
But even then, it was never once talked about or referenced.
Yeah.
Like, in the confrontation between Hauser and Hunter, at no point does Hunter go, wait a minute, why are you helping? Shouldn't you be under Order 66?
Yeah, and like don't go out there because they're under Order 66 and they'll flipping murder you on the spot. Plus, Crosshairs in the tower.
Yeah.
Right,
Crosshairs is such a joke now.
Can I give you a little scenario what would be really cool, right? I think this will be a really good scene in Star Wars. Right? Hauser comes out, he's trying to convince his men just like, oh, what this is completely against what we were trained to do. I will not stand for this any longer, throws his weapon down on the ground. And then,
he gets shot.
Yeah, it's either Crosshair snipes him, or Crosshair just says to his men, just like, finish him. And then, like, his men just murder him down on the ground. It could be one of those moments just like, okay...
That would have been way better.
Yeah, it could have been like, it could have been a moment to be like, okay, if you try and stand up against the thing you fought for, you know what I mean? It's like, you're standing up against all this, then no matter what you do, you just get shot down and killed anyways. But then they were just like,
if they did that, I could have bought that they would use that as a way for, like, the clones to break through their mind control. I could have bought that. I can't buy how they're making the most generic speech ever, and that getting through to...
Yeah.
Like, I can't buy that.
I can't, because, well, Crosshair, for example, he doesn't follow orders at all, and all of a sudden he's just like, I need to obey Palpatine's orders. It's like, what?
Okay, I'm going to make another comparison. In Siege of Mandalore, when Rex has Ahsoka, and they're walking up to Jesse, and Rex is like, oh, she's not a Jedi. And you know how Jesse's like completely under Order 66?
Yeah.
It would have been so shit if Jess was like, oh yeah, alright man, let's just turn against the Empire now. Yeah, alright, it's going alright. It would have been so boring, and it wouldn't have been impactful. Like, the scene in Bad Batch just isn't impactful at all. Because there's no setup, and there's no, like, given reason for why this is happening. It's just the, like, I saw a comment about it that makes a lot of sense, which is that a lot of stuff happens in Bad Batch that just happens to get the character from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But with no reason for how that's happening.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's just... Also, you guys watching this, the reason why we wait a week and then the next week we do 2 episodes in one, it's because we feel that there's not enough interesting things to talk about in one episode, so then that's why we cover 2 in one. Because genuinely, even though most of the time, I'd say a good like 80% of the time I'd go and rewatch a Bad Batch episode before doing a podcast with you, right? Even then, if I go and rewatch it, right, I still don't have a lot to talk about, even when I've literally rewatched it like 10 minutes before jumping on air with you. Because it's just not a lot of interesting stuff happens. And to be honest, this episode for me, it was just fine, okay? It was as a story, it was just, like, it's something you can just watch. It was fine. It could have been handled a lot better. It could have been, like, pretty dark of, like, a lot of Hauser's men killing him, and then, like, Crosshair maybe killing Hera's mum, which I thought would happen. Because they mentioned in Rebels that Hera's mum was, like, killed by the Empire.
I thought it was going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, but...
it didn't.
Yeah, it's just... Moments like that would have been, like, pretty dark, you know? But
it would have proven the Empire to be a threat.
Yeah, to me...
The Empire just started and already seems like a joke.
Yeah.
Like, they don't feel like they exist at all.
It's like, I don't need heroin stuff in this show, but like, I feel like these 2 episodes, they were pretty okay. Like, the Hera stuff, actually, I think is probably the most interesting stuff that they've done, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it's like the most interesting stuff, but compared to what else they're doing and exploring, it's not much.
Yeah. I agree.
Another thing I thought was a bit strange, but this is skipping all the way to the end of that first episode, but you know when Crosshair is standing behind that Imperial officer dude, and Crosshair asks permission to go hunt the Bad Batch, and he turns around automatically with dramatic music playing, and goes, yes, I give you permission.
Yeah.
I don't get that scene, because 2 episodes ago we thought that Crosshair was hunting them anyway.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, what changed? I didn't know he stopped.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, is the reason he stopped hunting because like he lost his hair and he was upset?
Yeah, he just like, I missed my really nice haircut, Hunter.
Fuck you, Hunter.
It's just, I don't know, it's just this...
It's like they have a checklist of cool stuff to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, they have one that's like generic speech to soldiers to make them, to inspire them to turn on the Empire. Or dramatic music of a character hunting down the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Or Omega giving a speech. And we like just check it off without actually checking if it makes sense.
Yeah. It's also really difficult to follow it because half the time our Bad Batch are just like, we don't really want to help you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not even me messing around. It's like, every single episode is just, here's an issue, the Bad Batch don't want to do it. Omega says, do it. Why? Because you have to. Oh, okay.
It's the good thing.
It's the good thing to do.
And then we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's in a situation where they've gone to a point where they've stopped caring about people, first of all, I can't see that because that's not really been referenced, implied, or even said.
Yeah.
So I don't buy that. And secondly, the situation they've gotten themselves into, I don't buy that they get in that mindset anyway. Yeah.
Plus, I can't, because normally I sometimes like, oh yeah, the action was pretty good. I can't even, the action was very forgettable because it's a story we've seen a lot of times before. It's like clones going to some place and then rescuing someone, but the action was just very generic.
Well, that's a good way to drive the show as well.
Yeah.
Generic, but...
I did think it was interesting for Omega to be like, oh, they're my brothers. And I'm like, oh yeah, she technically is their brother.
Yeah. I do wish I had more of a relationship with the others instead of just Hunter.
Yeah.
But I'm still bothered about that.
You know what bothers me the most, right? Is the fact that, you know, Rebels, right? A lot of it was very fillery, but it was fun filler. That's what I describe Rebels as. Rebels, I'd say starting from halfway of season 1 onwards, is fun filler. Okay?
Yeah, like, I still think it's a pretty weak show in general, except for like maybe the final 2 seasons, episodes in season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like, well, number one, the cast were actually memorable. Like, they did memorable shit.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember, like, they all had unique personalities, and like, if you got rid of one of them, they you can't really replace them without their like presence.
Yeah.
Well, not presence being felt, which I think was good for the show.
Yeah.
And also, they had a really good team dynamic. And Ezra didn't just have a relationship with Kanan.
Yeah.
A relationship with all the characters.
Yeah. And
Omega only really had a relationship with Hunter.
Plus, all the characters actually, they do some really fun things. They do some good stuff. Like, it's a sprinkle of interesting character stuff throughout Rebels, you know? It's not like an overarching story a lot of the time, which bugs me in the earlier seasons, but yeah, go on.
I think as well, the characters didn't develop a lot in Rebels, but they did develop in the first season.
Yeah.
Like, they made some development with their characters.
Yeah.
Like, with fucking, I think it's season 1 when Zeb comes across Callus and he finds out he's the one that, like, murdered his people or something.
Yeah.
So, like, simple stuff like that affects the character going forward.
Yeah.
Whereas in Bad Batch, something happens and then they forget about it the next episode.
Yeah. Well, the thing that mainly bothers me is, like, for example, it's the Bad Batch implying that all the characters are the main character, right? There's not one main character, right? And the fact that once Omega enters the scene in like halfway of episode 1, the script has no idea what to do with any of the members, including Omega.
Yeah, I liked Omega, but I feel like the show would have been better without Omega.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like with Bad Batch. I feel like maybe it would have worked better if the Bad Batch genuinely just had each other instead of Omega. Maybe. But then again, a talented writer could make it work with Omega.
Yeah, what it mainly feels like to me is just Omega's going on a little adventures and the Bad Batch tagging along. And
Yeah.
Omega needing permission to do things from the Bad Batch. And it's like, they tried so hard to make Omega this fun, likable, like the Baby Yoda of the Bad Batch, right? But the fact that
It doesn't work.
yeah, well, the reason why
Like.
the reason why Baby Yoda works is because he's like a little creature, and it obviously like he's there.
He's also just got one character
Yeah,
to bounce off of.
yeah, and he bounces very well off Mando, but like Omega is just, they don't do anything particularly interesting with her. She does pretty much the same thing every single episode. It's always just, hi, let's do this. Wait, what does this mean? Oh, that's bad. Oh, we should go help them. And it's every single episode, plus it's not really building to anything.
Yeah.
It's just...
if the characters died, I don't think I'd care.
I wouldn't care in the slightest.
Echo was barely in Clone Wars, but he still had character arc.
Yeah.
You know? From going to Rookie to Clone of the Five Age Birth, is bonding with Five to becoming an ARC Trooper, to dying, to then coming back. I think the show just does nothing with it. Like, I haven't seen him struggle with his new condition at all.
Yeah.
I think it would have been really interesting.
There's another thing.
With how his fucking brother that he's known since birth is dead.
Yeah, there's another thing. This whole this whole show could be about the aftermath of war and where that leads you, and the trauma and the effects, and how that can really mentally affect you. You know, it's like, for example, okay, the war's over, we're all clones. What now? No, our only purpose was to, and then half of us are being mind controlled, and then it's like we're just being replaced, basically,
by our own brother.
Yeah, and
the show does nothing with it.
I know. Well, the thing is, I was thinking about it, just like, if they do a season 2, maybe I'll watch it. But the fact that the Empire is just starting up now, this is a key moment in the galaxy, and they've been in like 4 episodes, and they're not in a lot of those episodes.
That was my main draw to the episode, because like I said it before, but I usually thought Bad Batch was going to be set during the Clone Wars, and we see it going up to where they are in season 7.
I think
when I found out it was episode 66, like immediately after, I was like, okay, that's interesting. They could do some interesting stuff with that. And they didn't.
I'll give you an example, right? The Siege of Mandalore. Why that works so well is because you know that the Empire is slowly on its way, and it's just always at the back of your mind. And then, as well as the bad
built up is amazing.
Yeah, and it's like in Bad Batch episode 1, you know that the Empire's here, and everyone else is just like, oh, the war's over, but you know, like, shit's about to go down. And then it's like halfway through the season, it's like, is shit gonna go down yet? And then it's like leading up to the season finale. It's like
the Empire literally died down.
Yeah, it genuinely feels like they're not there half the time.
They don't feel like they've had an impact on it at all.
No.
Like, it doesn't feel like, it just feels like the Republic hunting down rogue clones. That's basically what it feels like.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the evil Empire hunting down these clones that haven't followed all through to kill all the Jedi.
I'm just mainly disappointed because none of the characters, they're literally, as I said last episode, there's literally, they're pretty much the same characters since the first time we ever see them in Clone Wars. There's no, the story's not going anywhere. It's like watching, it feels like every single episode is the same, pretty much. It's just, let's do this, next episode, let's do that, and then it's not leading to anything interesting. There's nothing driving me.
Buying time until they can tell the main story so that they can finish up the season.
Yeah, no, to me it feels very much like, what was I going to say? It feels very much like just something that we've seen a million times of all these little plots of someone rescuing something from Clone Wars, but in just a worse way. And that's what I'm expecting to see every single week. It's like if every single Friday I'd be like, okay, let me go back to an early episode of Rebels, or every single Friday, okay, let me go back and watch a season 1 of Clone Wars, and then go back to bed. That's literally, I might as well do that instead of watching Bad Batch, because it's just something we've seen before told in a worse way.
I agree.
And that's not good in the slightest.
Another thing I wanted to bring up. So, you know the Bad Batch, how they all have special powers?
Yeah.
Like, Rex
Yeah.
is strong,
I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going to
What
this.
happened with that?
Yeah.
Like, they just forgotten that it's a thing.
I know exactly where you're going with that.
Like, Rex hasn't used his strength in fucking ages.
Well, to be
Hunter hasn't
fair,
really tracked anything.
they don't really focus on a lot of the Bad Batch's strengths, as in, like, their little powers.
Yeah. But I don't get why. Like, Tech's meant to be, like, super smart, like, smarter than the average clone or even person, right?
Yeah.
Well, half the time he's a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, well, half the
I'm
time...
just like-
yeah.
I'm just so confused by it. I'm like,
yeah.
why give them these special abilities, then give them their own show, and not have that play major roles at some point?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. to me.
There's so many things that they could have done. It's just the effects and the trauma of war, and just like all these different things that make them special, and then how feeling different, and then like, you know what I mean? It's like because they're all different, and then they could feel that they don't fit in, and then how like connect to other stuff, and it's just they don't do any of that. They literally just get in their ship, they go do a job, they get back on the ship, and they go, and that's it. And it's so boring to watch.
Meant to be lying low, right? Like, they don't want to be really be recognised.
Yeah.
So why is it they walk around in their fucking clone armour?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the fandom would pretty much complain.
Yeah, but that's dumb if they complain.
That-
They can wear it when they go on mission. But I don't really think there's a reason to wear it when they're walking around on like Sid's hometown or whatever.
It's just another thing is that I kid you not, every single time I watch an episode, I have a humongous headache the rest of the day. But that's because I have to force myself to sit there for about 30 or 25 minutes, and it's just it's unbearable, dude. If Bad Batch had 8 episodes, I guarantee that it would have been a much more just enclosed story. You know,
this feels very forced. This season feels very forced with what it's doing.
It's like, right, I imagine if they had 8 episodes, I could imagine it be doing something that Mandalorian did, of the very first season. I say, for example, the first 3 episodes were story stuff. It had like 3 filler episodes, and then the last 2 it connected to story. So you've got a story, but then you've got a mini adventures in between. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I enjoy that, but the fact that
we've had like fucking 50 fucking side quests.
it's literally just the first one was the story, and then about 6 episodes later we've got 1 episode of the main story, and then it'll be like all the way until the last 2 episodes, which would be like 8 episodes. Then it'll be the story. So what's the driving force?
I don't know what's wrong with the show, to be honest.
I just think
I don't understand how they failed with it.
I just think it's an absolute mess of a show, to be honest with you. What
was I gonna say?
It's been a while since, say if I'd be excited for something, right? It's like Godzilla 2, I'd get there, wasn't a big fan of it, but I'd get enjoyment out of some scenes, right? Really pumped for Bad Batch, that's what I was, really pumped for it. And now it's to the point where it's just, I get bored even thinking about it. I can't even bring myself to even watch, like, a clip of it, because it bores me so much. How do I go from being so excited because after coming off of Siege of Mandalore to this? It's like I don't understand.
Such a downgrading quality of just storytelling.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Also, did you want to like, instead of talking about individual episodes, do you want to like merge 13 and 12 together because it's sort of the same points that we're talking about?
Might as well.
If you want to, because I've forgotten a lot of what happened.
Why we didn't talk about episode 13.
I forgot about a lot of episode 12, to be honest, because it's just not a lot of interesting stuff to go down. I feel like they did some interesting stuff with what's his name? Cham? Is it Cham? Like the Hera stuff. It was just it was very basic. It was just, I need you to rescue my family. You get there, the family's rescued, and then they leave. They could have done something with.
No. I need you to rescue my family. Hunter's like, no.
No.
And Maker's like, yes.
And then Hunter's
like, okay.
Yeah, Hunter's like, okay. No. Yes. Okay. It's just they could have had something which added trauma onto Hera's character, like seeing her mum just get shot. Yeah, she's just in there for no reason. So she could have been there to see her mum get shot, and then I would have filled in a few things.
The cameos that they've put in are only to be there just for cameo sake.
Yeah,
Just like, hey, we can do this, so let's do it.
Imagine if we didn't get cameos in the show, dude. Imagine if
Nothing
Cad
changes.
Bane. No, but it's like, people get excited for like Cad Bane and Cutler Quain and all this stuff. It's just, imagine if they weren't there. The show would just be hollow as anything.
Yeah.
Bare
I
bones.
genuinely don't think the cameos are even needed.
Yeah,
Really.
to be honest
Like,
with you.
cool that some of them are there. Kanan wasn't needed.
I don't-
Cutler Crane wasn't really needed, but it's cool that
Yeah.
he's there. Rex was only needed for the chip thing.
Oh,
That's the only reason he was
Yeah,
there. Hera,
No.
again, you didn't really need her.
yeah.
That was another one I'm missing. Oh yeah, Cad Bane and Fennec, they're not really needed. Them being those
Yeah.
characters aren't fucking necessary to the story at all.
Yeah, to be honest with you. And the thing that is very disappointing is that the whole show could have been the clones and the Empire. And also, like it could fill in a few gaps, just like where was Gregor, where was Wolf, but they've done nothing of that. They've done absolutely nothing of it. And to be honest with
Yeah,
you...
this show is just a
Yeah.
mixed pile of wasted potential.
Well, think about it, right? Maybe they're just like, oh, we'll do that in season 2. Do it now, because there's nothing interesting going on.
Yeah, this show feels very much, because I think people defend it by saying stuff like, oh, what if it's like, hey, it's okay now, because we're probably going to get to that later. Which, I never like the argument. It's like, even if you are doing that later,
Yeah.
don't make the stuff now mediocre as fuck.
I'm gonna say
You'll
that...
have something to tell.
I'm gonna say this, right? I get why they held off on big characters in Mando Season 1, because it's a new audience, it's live action, and then they're like, we want to earn our trust, and we want to make you like Season 1, and then we'll introduce characters from the show before, right? I like that. But maybe they're wondering this, like, we want you to have, build our trust, and then if you like Season 1, then we'll add characters like that, like you fully know in Season 2. Wait, but it's just like, but maybe if you've done that, I mean, they've done a sprinkle of cameos, but maybe they'll do like some big clones and stuff. But if you do that, then no one's gonna want a season 2, because what you have now is just so boring. The reason why Mando worked, because Mando Season 1 was so like incredible, and then that's why people were really wanting a Season 2. But because no one cares at all in any of the characters, or just no one really likes any of the characters, any of the stories, or nothing that's going on.
Yeah, like,
so no one's going to want a season 2.
There one person to tell me they genuinely like Sid.
Yeah.
Like, it's not interesting at all.
No. Not in the slightest. Oh yeah, episode 13. What mentioning Sid, it was one of the worst. It was one of the worst episodes I've ever seen out of anything. It was so lame. It was so just not needed in the slightest. How do you go from Crosshair being like, yes, I've got permission to go hunt down my brothers, to just
the shit man flying back?
It's just, this is the plot of the episode. It was basically Sid's like, I need you to go get some crack out of this place. So they sneak through this Indiana Jones tunnel, and once they steal the crack, they drop the crack down the tunnel. Once they get out of the tunnel, the Pike are just like, go back and get the crack. So they go back in the tunnel to go back and get the crack. Then once they get the crack, they go back out the tunnel, here's the crack, and then they get in a shuttle and leave.
That's so fucking stupid.
It's so...
Like, why... At the end of the episode, they arrest the fucking yellow demon boy. But, like, why do they give him a punishment, but not the thieves? Why doesn't it make any sense to me?
Well, to be honest, at that point, Robert, I stopped caring. I stopped caring once I knew that this plot had nothing to do with the Empire.
Who's Ruby? Like, who the fuck is Ruby? Like, it's just a pet, but the way it was pulled out it made it seem like Omega knew Ruby.
Oh, no, she did.
Like,
she did.
Did she? Was she in a previous episode or something?
I'm not sure if you remember, but there was an episode where they had like a caged animal, and then they were running around with it on the ship while they were being shot at, and then Wrecker had it in his face and he fell, and then that was before his chip and stuff activated.
Was the character seen since then?
Well, the little armadillo thing, I don't think so. Apart from that one scene, it was just, why do we need this?
You really expect me to remember that character from one scene?
No. Well, I didn't realise it was the same one until it was just like, oh yeah, it's that one from that thing. We seriously get a whole episode about the flipping armadillo, basically.
that we needed to know what was going on with the armadillo. You don't understand.
It's just...
Another thing I want to bring up. I
Yeah.
can't tell, was the action any good?
I
Because when we were watching it,
don't think so.
when the Bad Batch first got attacked by the flying creatures, me and Stuart were watching it and laughing our asses off because we couldn't tell what the fuck was happening.
It was
We were
very...
like, are they even attacking?
Well, it was very basic shots, wasn't it? It was as you see see the Bad Batch shooting, and then you see the next shot is them shooting. You see a shot of them going around the corner. You see them shooting bats, and then that's basically it.
Oh, you see something falling off. Oh, it was so boring.
I know, it's so predictable. It's like, they say to Wrecker, oh, you need to be quiet, and it's like, oh, them saying that, obviously something's gonna happen, isn't it?
Something very loud is going to happen. And then we're like, hey, what if we use the guy that is scared of heights to go on this rope, but down to the bottom to get the crates back?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
an
have him come back
idea.
up. That's a great idea.
Plus, the creature design was so boring, it was just, the
I couldn't
bugs
even
weren't
tell it
even
was.
threatening.
That's the thing. When Reckon said we're going back up, I remember just being like, well, we're nearly at the top anyway. So I was just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's just, there's no stakes to it because you don't care. If the characters
I
died
know the
right now,
characters
I
aren't going
wouldn't
to
care.
die.
I wish they did die so I
Like-
don't have to watch it the next week.
I'm just there like, I know the characters aren't going to die, so anytime I'm teased with the fact that character's going to die, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I also don't care about the characters being in any type of danger or any situation. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what was I going to say?
They did more with those two flipping goofballs in Sid's bar than any of the Bad Batch
the
characters in
pajama
this
man
episode.
bitch and the pirate boy.
Yeah, they did more with them than any of the Bad Batch members.
Yeah. Me, this show upsets me. Like, I want to continue watching to have a full-on opinion of it. But even if the finale is the best thing ever, that's not going to change my opinion on the rest of the show. Because that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If the middle part of the show isn't as good, it's like just mediocre or boring or unimportant,
Well, that's
why do I have to care about the finale?
that's what they've been doing a lot recently. A lot of their animated stuff besides Siege of all of season 7. It would be like they have one hooking episode, and then the rest of it sucks or just very mediocre, and then they do some actual story stuff in the last 2 episodes. So it's like,
I think that's an awful thing to do.
and it is an awful
I
thing
get
to do.
not wanting to explore a story all the time, but if you're gonna not explore a story, at least have the fucking stories you are telling be interesting.
Yeah.
And use that as like a way to have character development for your character.
Well, if you think about it, right, the main, there's always like a main story, right? There's always something going on, and because there's more side plots and subplots more than the main story, it's safe to say the Bad Batch has no story.
Yeah. I feel like the show, number one, the show needed a story arc so they can fill out the actual stories and make them interesting. Like when they went to Raxus to rescue the Separatist leader. All of us are offered opportunity to develop your characters a lot more in good and meaningful ways. But what was the other thing I was going to say? For fuck's sake, I've forgotten now. This is how much the show affects me. It makes me like forget shit I'm saying. I was going to say something else, and it's like super insightful and made me seem like a cool guy. But I forgot it. I need to remember.
Watch him just split out with some racist shit. Just out of nowhere.
Oh, fuck, man, what was it? What was I going to say?
I don't know, Robert.
Well, why don't you know, man?
It's just, Robert, it's horrible to say this, but
I remember now.
Bad Batch was one of the most hyped things of this year for me, and I don't want to even finish it. And I always finish stuff.
I get you. I remember what I was going to say now. I feel like the show would have also benefited by showing stuff that Crosshair is doing in the Empire.
Yeah.
So that would actually have an effect of the Empire and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool to have like a two episodes of Crosshairs with like Die Troopers going around doing like stuff for the Empire. Like taking hostages, taking over civilizations. And think how the Empire operates now. And think how they affect the fucking galaxy. But no, we can't see that.
Yeah.
Crosshair is now just a generic villain.
Well, this is what would have been cool, right? Was that, because the Empire, we see, like, what it's becoming on the outside. Like, the show could have presented what it's, like, becoming on the inside. And
Yeah.
it's... nothing. It's literally they could have done
This
so much
show
more
is
stuff.
hollow.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the flipping Camino subplot I completely forgot about.
But I was really interested in that. Like, if they are doing a clone rebellion, show the clones. Show them actually rebelling, and not that fucking stupid scene of how they're getting them to turn. That's not a rebellion, that's just fucking shitty writing.
And it is awful writing. It makes me think that Order 66 wasn't that major anymore.
Important.
Yeah.
At all. Like, it's downplayed so many... It's downplayed the events of what should be happening. In
Yeah.
the universe,
It's like, for example, well, it's not as bad as this, but say, for example, Terminator 2, oh, John Connor's alive, and then you go watch not Genesis, Dark Fate, and then he just dies like they just do, like, 12 hours later. Or Aliens, where they all escape.
Like, what's the point in having this entire over movie about saying this character only to kill them off 10 minutes into the second?
Oh, obviously it's not as bad as that, but it's just the fact that it's just... You've got this big Order 66 thing, just who will stand with me? And like, yeah. It's like, it feels like any character could do that. It feels so basic.
Like, none of the characters being who they are have an impact on the world at all. And like, I get not every show needs to have that, or movie needs to have that. But they are the protagonists, they are the driving force of the show. They should have some type of impact. And some personality, like I still don't know what the fuck their personality.
No.
Like, they're all just stereotypical archetypes. Really.
Yeah.
Like, Echo might as well just be a droid.
Yeah, no, they generally might as well be props, because the Bad Batch generally they do feel like props. They're things to make kids, oh, look at his armor, he looks so cool.
He looks so cool!
It genuinely, it's like, for example, Michael Bay Transformers, right? All the Transformers, they're not characters, they're props. They don't have any characters, they're there to look cool so people will watch it, and that's what the Bad Batch are. They're props,
it's like
not characters.
The women in Michael Bay's movies as well. They're only there to look good, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's who Michael Bay is.
Well, that's. Do you agree with me that the Bad Batch, they're just props?
Yeah, they are just props. They're just there so that they can have like, hey, look at this other Star Wars show that we're doing.
Yeah.
Don't they look cool? You know them from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I love them. Do it. Love them. Give us your money.
Mm.
That's what it feels like.
I've you always get that video where they'd be like, oh, things you missed or references or Easter eggs you missed in this episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Easter eggs or references to look at.
I missed the entertainment in the episode.
I missed, like, purpose. No, it's what I missed. Flipping 25 minutes of my life. That's what I missed. I could have literally... I would have stared at a wall and watched the paint dry in my bedroom, and I would have had more of a thrilling experience.
That Star Wars Theory didn't even do a breakdown of the episode.
And I watched his reaction.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I saw his reaction.
Like, I'm there. Like, if he's like not impressed with something Filoni created, that's like kind of a big deal.
I just realised something, that me watching paint dry is literally, that's more of an arc and more development for
that's
me.
More character development.
Yeah, it genuinely is. They might as well have a whole episode where they just sit there and watch paint dry, and then it would be the exact same thing that they've done with all of them in all the episodes beforehand.
Yeah, I'm gonna compare this show to another show. Like, have you ever watched Transformers Prime?
Is that the old Cartoon Network one?
Yeah.
I remember watching it as a kid.
The first season is 26 episodes long, right?
Yeah.
It's all one continuous story. But it does it in a way where pretty much every episode is connected to that story.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels out of place. It all just feels like this genuinely builds up to this finale.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking good.
Mm.
And I don't get why this show is struggling to do that with 16 episodes.
Mm.
Especially when they've done it before. Like, they've done story arcs in the past that have been really interesting to watch. Like the Umbar arc, the Mortis arc, Siege of Mandalore, the actual Bad Batch arc in Season 7.
Yeah.
But here, they fail, they fall flat, everything's hollow. It's all just... It really is coming across as bad writing, because there's no setup to anything. It just happens for the sake of happening, because the writer's like, hey, that's cool, let's put that in. And then they do it. That's all that's happening.
Yeah. I don't care anymore, and I hate to say that I don't care. How do you go from when Bad Batch was announced, like on Star Wars Day last year, which was the same day that like the last episode of Siege of Mandalore or something came out? I was so pumped. I was like, oh my god, this is just okay. Siege of Mandalore, we're getting more animated Star Wars. Let's go. But now that I think about it, now because the Bad Batch is not getting that great of a reception, are we going to get any more animated stuff.
I'm just about to bring that up. I think the show will get a season 2, but if it continues on the way it is now, and because the viewership has actually declined, I believe.
Yeah, I think it has. I think the ratings are going down a bit.
Continues into season 2, and it doesn't pick up in season 2, I don't think we'll get a season 3. And I also think that means this animation style is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And it's the thing, and with that as well, I don't even think, I won't even be able to blame Disney for it. Because if it's not Disney interfering with the show, making it bad, and it's just the people generally not liking what is being put out.
Yeah, I'm not saying that...
I can't blame them.
I'm not saying that they're not trying. Everyone involved, I believe that they're putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah,
I just don't
believe
enjoy
they
it.
put hard work into this.
Yeah, everyone...
I just don't think they've... I think they've done a pretty poor job on it.
Yeah.
I think I could do better, but as someone that's watching it and paying for Disney Plus and then seeing this, I'm not really happy with what I'm getting.
Yeah, neither am I. It's like Dave Filoni, you know, I'm sure that they put a lot of effort into this. I'm sure they're happy with it. More power to them if they enjoy it, right? But I'm not a fan of it. You know, you can keep making what you're making. I just won't watch it.
The thing is, as well, is that our opinions on it are becoming more of the popular opinion, I believe, as well.
Yeah, it is.
It's sad to say.
It is really sad because, you know, it's... I want to be just very positive about it, but there's nothing... Yeah,
I want to be excited for every single week.
It's just, I thought about this earlier, and it's just, I'm trying to think of a defense for this show, and I just, if you like this show, good on you, keep watching it, but I'm trying to think of things that I like, and that's not a good sign. If I'm forcing myself to like things, and it's like... You know what I mean? It's like, I'm trying to think of things that, okay, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. There wasn't anything I liked, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame. Oh, what was the other thing I was going to bring up? Well, at least we've got a lot of other stuff, of Star Wars stuff coming out, you know. It's like with the Marvel...
I'm not even really excited for that stuff, to be honest.
I am, to be fair. It's like, say, for example...
If I haven't got something made by Dave Filoni to be excited for week to week, I can't get excited for anything.
Well, we're getting Boba in December.
Yeah, but we haven't seen how that's going to be.
It's still something, though.
True, but we also said about Bad Batch.
Yeah.
That's how look where we are.
Well, say, for example, if you're someone who didn't like WandaVision, you've still got all this Marvel content ahead.
True.
Is that we are still getting some good stuff. It's not going to be one of the highlight of years for Star Wars, you know. I mean, it's not going to be a 2019 or a 2005. It's just going to be a very mediocre year for Star Wars. But at least in the future, we're getting stuff like Boba Fett, which I'm very excited for.
I hope that show's good.
I'm hoping it will be. And then we've got stuff
they
like...
could have used this character. They could use this show to like build a connection, like a personal connection between Fennec and Boba Fett. Like I said before, have like Fennec be like being mentored by a bounty hunter like Cad Bane, and then have that scene where Boba like kills Cad Bane, and then have Fennec find out about that in the book of Boba Fett. Have that be like a point of tension between them. Like I know I've been saying stuff about the cameos are pointless, but I feel like if they put this in the arc where Omega gets kidnapped, and then you have like Boba Fett would be the one that rescues her, I think that could be interesting, and he would have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like his sister in a way.
I am looking forward to Boba though, to be fair, because it's made by a lot of the directors who made some really goddamn flipping spectacular episodes in Mando season 1 and 2. So
I hope that means it's going to be good.
It's got Jon Favreau's returning for a lot of episodes. Bryce Dallas Howard, who did the Bo-Katan episodes. We're getting, I think, I can't remember her. I feel bad. I can't remember her name. She did like the finale of Mando season 1. I think she's coming back for like 2 episodes. So we're getting some solid directors.
Yeah.
So and I know that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're writing it. So at least we've got some more good stuff to look ahead. But you know, we're still gonna cover Bad Batch, but it's just, to be honest with you, it's just a chore to get through. It's paced horrifically. It's just not. It's not a good show. I don't think, even if it's got one of the best finales I've ever seen out of anything, I still don't think it'll
The
make it a good
wouldn't be
show.
worth.
I still won't. Fully now. No matter what they do, I don't think it will be a good show in my eyes. Like nothing, what they do, I don't think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be a great last few episodes. Yeah, it's just
like even if season 3 is going to be amazing, it still doesn't change how season 1 and 2.
yeah. I get what you mean. It's just that's Bad Batch for you. There's not much to say about the episodes, and that's so sad. It just because all the bad things they just delve into each other. There's not a highlight anymore. I'm
trying to like blur the episodes together as well.
Yeah,
Like they always look like about the same location.
like to me, it's like one was a standout. The Rex episode, the rest of them just blur into one they just blur together. It's I'm not enjoying it. Any other day, I'd go back and watch a Clone Wars arc, or even Rebels. I rewatch one of the mini arcs of Rebels, or I go watch an episode of Mando. But say if I'm doing a big rewatch and stuff in order, right? Say for example, Revenge of the Sith, and I'm not gonna start Revenge of the Sith, but say for example, right, with the clone stuff, I'd do Revenge of the Sith. I'd then watch Clone Wars season 7, and then I'd probably go straight into either Rogue One or Rebels. You know, I don't think there's a full-on need to watch Bad Batch, to be honest with you. I can just go without.
Don't. It doesn't really give you any important information for, like, the fucking trilogy going forward.
No, it's...
Or any of the other shows.
Yeah.
Like, Clone Wars is one of those shows that, like, you don't need to watch it. It's not important to watch it. It just fills in some gaps that even the films just isn't important. But it's cool that it's there.
Yeah.
Bad Batch, I don't know what its purpose is.
It doesn't have a purpose, that's the thing.
I don't know what it's trying to set up. Unless they're setting Sid up to be like a reference that Din Djarin makes once in season 3 of The Mandalorian. But other than that, I don't know what the fucking why these characters are here for. Because half of the time it's just sort of like Filoni's introducing characters just to make them appear again later.
Yeah. It's sad the fact that I forget half the characters are there and they're meant to be the main characters of the show.
Like, I don't remember any fucking dialogue the characters even had. Like, I can't even remember anything Echo said in the show.
Yeah, I can't remember a lot of things in the show. I feel like first episode was a decent start. I mean, I really did enjoy the Rex episode. Everything else there was just... I don't have much to say about it.
I still quite like the first 3, but knowing what I know now, I don't know if I go back and rewatch those 3, if I'll enjoy it that much.
Yeah, it's like, I love Star Wars, but it's not for me, this one. You know?
Do you remember when Crosshair murdered his teammates and then had his other teammates burn a bunch of civilians alive?
That was a great scene. And then now
I straight forgot about it.
Yeah, everyone's smiling. And then everyone's like, all people are being mind controlled, and then the galaxy's all being taken over, and everyone's smiling, and everyone's having a great time in these missions, and no one's upset once.
Yeah.
No one even really cares that Crosshair's gone.
And how they just haven't developed if that's like had any kind of if that's been traumatic for it at all.
Yeah, and no one even really cares that Crosshair's gone, to be fair. It's just, thank God we got away from him.
That's the other thing I want to bring up. I don't really care about the relationship Crosshair has with his brothers, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, they're brothers, they work together, doesn't mean I should care about it, you know? The show hasn't earned that. I feel like the first episode should have ended with Order 66 or something along those lines, and giving me a genuine reason to care about the relationship the Bad Batch have with Crosshairs.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't care. They barely mention him. They barely looked... When he betrayed them, they barely looked hurt at all. They're just kind of like, oh, you prick.
Yeah, it's just, you asshole. I'll see you next week.
That's as far as it's ever gone with it.
Yeah, it's only just like, fuck you and I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Also, going all the way back to the latest episode.
Yeah?
Going back to the latest episode, I don't know why, fuck's sake, the dialogue between Hunter and Omega at the end, where, she was like, Hunter was like, Omega, why did you believe in Yellow Horned Man? And Omega was like, I have to, because I have to believe there's good in people. I'm like, he didn't really do anything bad. He like took over a bar and didn't hurt anyone. Like, that's as far as his villainy went.
Yeah, but yeah, I get what you mean. It's just like, well, why do we? It's just there's no need for him to be there. There's no need for half the characters that are introduced in this show. There's no need for Sid. There's no need for flipping Yellow Horn Man. There's no need for anything. I don't need all of this.
These characters haven't impacted the main core in any meaningful way.
I feel like we're living in an alternate universe that's not on the sacred timeline, and this universe is that the Bad Batch has just nothing interesting going on. I feel like we're in some sort of alternate universe where the Bad Batch is focusing on things that doesn't need to focus on. It's like if we were like time travelers, or if you and me were like people who'd hop over to different dimensions, but oh, what's different about this dimension? Oh, it says here that this dimension involves the Bad Batch having pointless shit. Oh, that's kind of weird for just dimension just to have that. You know what I mean? It's just for
That's all that dimension is.
Yeah, that's the only like standout thing of that dimension. It's just I hate this show. I think it's so boring. Robert, this show, the last few episodes, it's been a danger to my mental health, because when I watch it, I have to resist not getting up and slamming my head into the flipping sink. And it gives me headaches. I get headaches, and I feel drowsy the rest of the day. I feel like I can't do anything the rest of the day. All I can do is sit in bed because the episode was so boring. It's ruined my mental state. It flipping hurts my brain. I have to go drink a flipping bowl full of water just to wake myself up again.
Yeah, I didn't even... Yeah.
The whole point of this episode is background noise. It does. It's painful to watch. While I'm here,
it feels like they wanted to explore this time era, but didn't have anything to explore with, and we're just like, hey, it's just Bad Batch do it.
There's
forget to actually do anything with those characters.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting about this show. Also, I'm about done with Bad Batch, to be honest with you. And as in like talking now, do you got anything else to say?
No.
Good. Because I'm losing patience with the show very much. Also, before we wrap up, according to a lot of reliable insiders, this is Marvel, by the way, just to wake myself up a bit after talking about flipping Boar Batch. But there's another one. There's another thing we can refer to. Yeah, it is a decent name. The Boar Batch. Apparently, Marvel Studios currently has 9 unannounced streaming series in various development stages. 9.
I've heard that as well.
And that's series. Like, that's not even including Deadpool or anything.
If that's true, that'd be pretty fun.
Well, remember when Secret Wars wasn't even... No, Secret Invasion and Armor Wars, and they weren't even rumoured. They were just like, what the hell, these things are happening?
Yeah.
And I reckon some of those is like... I reckon we'll get a Nova, I reckon we'll get a... as a lot of people are saying, we're going to get a Daredevil at some point. We're going to get a Ghost Rider. So...
Oh, speaking of Daredevil, did you see, again, a recent plot leak detailed for Spider-Man No Way Home by the employee that leaked it because they were tired?
I think it's false, to be fair. I think it's completely false.
I do as well.
I think it is. It's too descriptive.
I highly doubt someone leaked the script for the movie because they were tired of waiting for the trailer to release, and they would risk losing their job over
I think it's rubbish, to be honest with you. And there's no, like, what position does he have at this place? He's just, I work for Sony. Like, why do you have to script?
I find out on the toilet.
It's like, I guarantee it's one of those productions where they would only give the real scripts to certain people.
They did it with Tom Holland as well. They gave him a fake script. So, like, I can believe that they gave a fake script to some other people.
I don't think it's true. I reckon...
It would be funny, though, if it was a trap, and they gave fake scripts to everyone.
Well, they did
and then
that.
Whoever leaks it is getting fucked.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get fired. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be a fucking alpha move.
Must be a few afternoons to write down each individual fake script with a completely different fake plot for every single employee.
They fucking could, man. They fucking could.
Like, change each individual bit of dialogue. So like, as a collective, all the workers at Sony, they've got like what 200 million movies. Or I don't know how many people work there, but like if you take every single person at Sony apparently who has the script, it's all a different movie. Like you've literally got like a million what if opportunities there.
Just get the script from Morbius, but just change the characters to Spider-Man characters. Don't change any of the dialogue or anything. And then just give it to people who are this is home script, yeah.
No. What they do, they literally take any script of any property they own, and it's like, for example, wait a second, this is the I'm holding the script for Die Hard 2 here, but it's instead of John McClane, it's a Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm holding
But it's like, no, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, I'm reading the. Apparently, this is the new Spider-Man, but yeah, correct. But this is the exact same dialogue as National Treasure 2. We're starring Nicolas Cage. No. I'm reading the plot for Finding Dory. This is meant to be.
You're not Spider-Man.
Spider-Man like Finding Dory.
Spider-Man finds Dory.
But yeah, just at least we got a lot of good stuff to look forward to in terms of Marvel and Star Wars. You know.
I'm mainly hyped for Marvel because thing is, Marvel at the minute is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's building up to something. Star Wars as a whole isn't really building up to anything, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, compared to everything else, it's incredibly dull and boring. Especially with this show
I disagree there, because they're giving us a lot of things that a lot of people are asking for. Like, people want to do, like, an Ahsoka show, people want, like, a Kenobi show. Like, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, I'm just saying that I'm excited for it. But to be honest, it's just, we've been getting so much good Marvel stuff lately, like, it's just, I'm in such a good MCU mood. Plus the fact that, I don't know if you've heard recently, but, Kingpin is meant to be in the Hawkeye series, same actor, and he's meant to tie into this new Echo show, which I guarantee is one of the 9 that is the unannounced projects. What I'm hearing is that it's...
The Echo show, starring Echo from Clone Wars.
Oh, no, it's a different Echo. God. It's a different... Yeah, Kingpin meets Echo.
I thought we were finally going to give him, like, a character on.
Mr. Echo, I heard you got no character development, so I will... proceed to give you some.
Echo just went.
Echo meets Kingpin. Brilliant. But
at least that's interesting.
Yeah, a thing I'm very happy about is apparently it's the same Netflix Marvel continuity, but they're not going to reference a lot of the events. Which I'm happy that it's still the same continuity. It's not a reboot or anything. But yeah, that's the end of the Marvel stuff we're talking about. Anything else you want to mention while on Bad Batch, or...?
If Ahsoka turns up at any point, I think I might just turn the show off right then and
I might turn it off if Maul shows up.
Oh my... He's fucking dead.
No, that's what a lot of people are saying, if Maul would show up.
He better not. He has no reason to... Oh, it's because the Pikes turned up, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the fucking Pikes turned up.
Please no.
I hope
it's gonna be so random.
It's just...
He has no reason to turn up.
Hello, clones. I am also in the show. But what reason? I do not know. I did not why I'm here. No, in the Ball Batch, the plot where that Maul would show up is that Maul he's at the shops and he's stuck in the queue at the self-service checkout, and then...
It's like, I am tired of the customer service.
I am tired of the customer service.
I would like to hire your service to get...
And then, like...
Apple.
And I've got apples on Dathomir. They probably won't do anything with it, but yeah, I'm about to wrap up on the Ball Batch. Is there anything else you want to catch up, say?
No.
Good. Good, I want to go back to bed. Not because I don't enjoy doing this, it's because if I even think of Bad Batch, there's literally blood cells coming out of my brain.
I really enjoy having conversations about Bad Batch with, you and Stuart, but not actually watching the show.
I do. Right, on Friday, I really want to actually watch the show with you guys.
Yeah, you should.
I want to, because I want to be able to...
Mainly now what we do is we just go, what the fuck is that? Well, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I know you guys do, because it's because I don't want to watch a comedy by myself anymore, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair, all
Might have
right.
put a laugh track on the show.
Generally, like like in like a Friends or a Drake and Josh. And you know what would be a perfect laugh track where it would be like where a Hunter would say something like, "We're not helping them," but Omega would be like, "We have to," and Hunter would be like, "Why?" It's because we have
That
to.
is such, yeah, that is such a sitcom moment.
Yeah. And you'd be
Oh
like,
no, you know when Omega was like, "We've got to go back for Sid." You know, that guy said she's out. It probably means she's been kidnapped. And then Sid's just on the ship like, "Hey guys."
yeah.
That would have been a perfect laugh track.
It
moment.
would have been. Or if the audience is hysterically laughing when flipping Yellowhorn Man gets his horns cut. Oh yeah, it's just this show makes me want to actually just murder a whole field of baby lambs, specifically baby lambs.
Of the Lamb.
That's
I get that reference.
yeah.
Smart.
'Cause the person who wrote that was actually me. The
I
plot.
like how he went to like, he asked me if like we're ready to wrap up now. And I was like, yeah. And then we went like on a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I know. Right, I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you guys so much for watching this. We will speak to you guys very soon in an upcoming episode. And yeah, guys, take care.